Mute switch is a little toggle thing up there.
Okay.
You're not muted.
Oh.
Okay. So Marla, can you hear me?
Sonya's there too.
Yeah, exactly.
Sonia Sweat?
Yep.
Oh, good.
Luckily there was somebody there to catch her.
Oh, yeah, we can hear now.
But it was terrifying. He was like, oh.
Oh, good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can't kill them. Good. And I missed y'all yesterday. Oh, that was so good. The next time I'm gonna talk about. Yeah.
Where's Obs? Is she coming? Or she may be at her full-time gig. I don't know where her schedule is at the distribution center or whatever.
They've been out sick, so, can only find 7 babysitters. But she's only Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I haven't talked to her yet today. What's my favorite?
Did you all decide your accountability partners after class or just?
Yeah, that work, yeah. I'm stuck with her. She's stuck with me.
So Andy, you want to kick us off? You want to?
What you want me to kick off?
Well, anything you want to say? We don't always get you undivided. Yeah, okay.
Is there anything that anybody's wondering about or wants to ask? We're actually, I think we're going to put together an AOD training that can actually equip you with some scripts and things to say, should you be put in the situation, instead of just flying by the seat of your pants, like, yeah, I'd love to work with you. Good question.
Auburn sent me.
What else y'all want to know about? Market Center's killing it. And
March, 78% higher than February was. So big number. But you know
what's doing it? Yeah. It's veterans that have been doing the business for 5, 10, 15 years, going back to the basics and upping their lead gen game. But also that's being combined with new agents and provisional brokers being trained properly through things like Ignite and what Jason's doing, and they're getting productive faster. So it's kind of creating this perfect storm that we've been trying to create, if that makes sense. Go you. One thing I will ask, so new people, where do you feel like currently, where do you feel like your blind spots are?
Foreclosures.
Leads, did somebody on there say something? Foreclosures.
We're
Okay.
doing a lunch and learn on foreclosures. That's coming.
Sonia, we're doing a lunch and learn on foreclosures. Be on the lookout.
Unfortunately, I probably can't come.
We'll make sure you get the information. So when you say lead gen and leads, why do you feel like, what makes that a blind spot for you?
what to do.
How to lead generate. Yeah.
What are the different ways?
Here's what I'm gonna give you the answer, but here's what a lot of people do. They get the answer and they go, oh God, sounds like work. So do you really want the answer? I'm gonna go a little bit morbid and kind of give you this picture. Okay. And I'll use myself. So I have a wife named Leah, and I've got 3 little boys, 5, 2, and 9 months old, Levi, Sammy, and Malachi. Okay. Let's pretend hypothetically, Jason came up to me and said, you have 90 days to generate a new client and to get an agency agreement written for a buyer or a seller. You got 90 days. Like, like straight up life and death.
Yeah.
Pretend Jason puts that scenario on me. Do you think I'm going to have a problem finding a client?
No,
Where do you think I'm going to go find them?
the people you know,
Say it.
the people you know.
Any freaking where. I will drive my truck through the front door of Publix. Right? And I'm not telling you to do that. What I'm telling you to do.
Boy, we burn through those, don't we?
So let's hypothetically say that I put you guys in that same situation. And I say your life depends on it. Where are you going to go find them? Where are you going to go? How relentless are you going to be? And I know that sounds morbid, it sounds weird, but if I can put myself into that mentality to go get it in that scenario, why can't I put myself in that mentality to go get it without that scenario? Because the only thing that changed was my circumstance. Does that make sense? So what does that tell me? That means in both circumstances, it's still all up to me. It's just one is going to make me go crazy getting it done. And the other one, without that, I have to put myself mentally in that situation. When I was building a real estate business, my driver was, I had never been broke before. Am I taking too much of your time? I had never been, tell me when to shut up. I had never been broke before in my life. 2014, I took a $38,000 pay cut and got married in the same year. And she wasn't working yet, right? So the first 8 months of my marriage, there was a lot of spaghetti. There was a lot of pintos. There was a lot of cornbread. There was no eating out. There was no vacationing. And I made the decision, this ain't how it's going to be, right? I'd never been there before, but I realized very quickly that I hated it. And so my driver now is, yes, I have a passion for leadership and I have a passion for helping people. Like people say, what is your passion? My passion is finding unused potential and getting it out of somebody. That's what drives me. But what is the reason that I go after it so hard? It's the fear of going back. I will never, ever, ever, ever go back to 2014. Ever. And there's things in place and there's positions in place and there's work ethic in place now that no matter what, I can never go back to that. And if you're not at that place in your mind, you're just going to piddle, right? You're going to transact with clients as they come to you. What is that going to lead to? Quitting.
Can I identify with this question? Because I was in a position not long ago, we come up with systems to do it. It's great to feel good about stuff, but when it comes down to like, what notes am I gonna write down on the paper? Who am I gonna walk up to? How do I start that conversation? Who do I call? Where do I get the book? Where do I get the book? Like, how? That's where I feel about. Like, I want to talk to somebody. I want to call somebody. So I feel good about it before you get it.
More of my question, like, I knew, I like the scenario, but more of my question is more like, y'all done this for years, what are some ways that, what is y'all, like, what work does for y'all when y'all are lead? What I was, that's kind of like y'all.
How many contacts do you have in your phone?
I had a couple, like a couple hundred, probably.
Couple hundred?
Yeah.
All right, so I've got like 4,000 in my phone. And I wore them jokers out. Right? To this day, I'm still not through them all. But here's what a lot of people don't understand. Whether you have 200, okay, let's say you have 250 contacts in your phone, and let's say 90% of them are local. Okay. Have you heard anybody up here tell you get their full information, name, email, phone number, address, and put them in command? Have you heard somebody tell you this? Birthday. Have you heard this taught? Now, moment of truth. And this is an honest, transparent class. Raise your hand if you've accomplished that.
I got like 65%.
Yeah, I'm not there. I'll be honest myself.
Raise your hand if you have 201 plus in your command right now. Then it don't count. You have all four of those things for 201 plus. You got it?
Yeah, wait, are you defining a contact as a two-way conversation or just info?
Just information. Okay, so you got it, you got it, you got it. Who else has it?
Well, I have the numbers, I just don't have every single like email.
That's step one. Like this is what I'm talking about. We preach things and we give you the answers and say, this is it. Because statistically, we have the data through command. Did y'all know that 20% of all the real estate transactions in the country in 2022 went through a Keller Williams office? 1 in 5. That means we have more data going through command than any other platform on the planet. So we have this information. What that means is if you have 201 plus contacts in command and you're putting them on these drip campaigns and what are they called? It's slipping me. What are they called? Smart plans. And you're putting them on a smart plan, you're getting your touches out there. What people do is they delay, they go try to find clients when actually, wait, first step is you have the contacts. You just got to get the rest of the information and then do what we told you to do and put them in command. So right now you're sitting on 250 leads and not tapping it and looking for another place to go get leads. And I'm not beating you up, but what I'm saying is like, that's step one because it's free money, right?
Yeah.
Do that first. And do the basic stuff before trying to get creative. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
An old mentor told me, he was like, I pay an entire department to be innovative and you're not in that department. So don't be innovative. Just do the basic stuff. And I'm like, got it. And that's why I started killing it. Because I'm not an innovative guy. Like he's innovative. I'm not. He's innovative. He's innovative. I don't like being innovative. I like paying them to be innovative. Does that help?
Yeah.
Start basic. What else?
Something, but I forgot what it was. What are we doing? Just
Asking me questions.
Casual conversation.
Oh, okay.
What do you need? What do you want? Where are you? How are you feeling? Like, as far as where you are at this point as a PB, you know, and you replied last night.
Oh, yeah, but you got most of mine on.
You know, the different docs that you swim, and those are things we'll attack docs, you know, because we're here every week. So we'll hit docs, you know, we'll hit it quick. Scripts, we're gonna have an appraiser in, we'll have an inspector in, we'll have those folks in. We're gonna go out and measure a vacant house.
I think
So
one is
you probably don't know how to measure a house.
using so like one of the things I had ran into was for the first offer purchase you had.
Yeah.
what to look for, because some people in the MLS, like this man didn't put the addendums or no
Yep.
documents in it, so like. What to look for and then how to go about finding them, getting in or
Yep.
contacting the other agent.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
call them.
agents are not created equal. You'll find that.
Yeah. I've
We
run
have
into that
to
before.
get in touch with agents all the time for missing documentation. We're working with a Virginia one that doesn't really know how to do North Carolina real estate, but they just got their real estate license in North Carolina and doesn't know all the rules, and it's affecting a lot of things, but it's holding up some processes. But you have to just stay in constant contact with the other agent.
Don't be scared to tell another agent. Preferably that's not with Keller Williams how to do their job. Like keep people on their toes, you know what I mean? Call the agent, like, hey, are you gonna upload the docs? Like, it's your job. Trying to bring you a
One of
buyer.
the things we've ran into is like some of the older generation, they said the contracts were only like 2 and 3 pages in the beginning, and now they're 16,
Mhm.
and they're missing a lot of slots. And I mean, I've had one get upset with me because I'm like, well, we have to fill this out and this out and this out. And he's like, well, this isn't how it's supposed to be done. It used to be 2 pages.
Gas used to be $1.
So me, tell them nobody will get paid until you do it.
Like seriously, people just say some dumb stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I know I used to fill up my Honda Accord for 89 cents a gallon too, but guess what? It's 2023.
So I had an issue this week. I had a showing, but the listing was in Virginia and Virginia MLS, and it's a North Carolina listing. Is that common?
I had a lot of.
Yes,
But
especially towards like Reedsville, Pelham, all that over there.
Places.
Pico.
Yeah, I was up in Milton and I'm like, I'm like, I can't see the MLS, so I can't tell you all, I had to call the agent, I was calling the agent anyway, because it was like, how do I find your MLS? But it was, I was like, that just makes no sense.
So when I was building a real estate business, I was always do what's right by your listing client.
Yeah.
And if it costs, like I had no intention of doing any transactions in Guilford County. But when I started my real estate career and, got it going beginning of 2020, end of 2019, beginning of 2020, some friends of mine that lived in Guilford County started contacting me saying, hey, we want to sell our house. And instead of what some people will do is, like you just said, instead of paying $500 or $600 to join an MLS, they'll just list in Alamance County and let the Guilford County people see it. In actuality, that's just not what's best for your client. Invest the $500 and join the MLS, even if I did it just for that one client, because I'm trading 500 for 10,000.
Exactly. If you're going to sell in North Carolina, you should be listing in North Carolina.
Or, yeah, even in the same MLS.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even from Alamance to Guilford, I did that.
Yeah.
And I'm not telling you have to do that. What I'm saying is I believe that's better for the client. Because now you don't have 100 agents from another MLS calling you for documents because you can't upload them into their system. It's just, I think it's bad business.
Well,
But
and I'll go
Do you
hold on 2 seconds, Sonia.
I'll go
Yeah.
a step further and say that it's against your code of ethics not to, because your code says that you're to market the property the best of your abilities. So if we're in a sister location like we are on the 40 corridor, you're not marketing that property to the best of your abilities, right? So you're actually, in essence, costing the marketing negatively for that client.
Totally agree. What were you going to ask, Sonia?
any updates on the triangle merging?
What was it, September?
Yes, I can tell you all about that. So can you hear me, Sonia?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the deal. They are running behind based upon the integration of information and systems. So how that's going to work now, they thought they would be able to do that by the end of June, which is what you paid for. You paid for your membership for MLS to June 30th. Well, that's not probably gonna happen. Their new date is 9/11. So they're looking at this point, behind the scenes, probably later this month or next. RPR, if you use RPR, you'll be able to see every single triangle listing in RPR. Even though you're not having access to Triangle yet. When they turn that on 9/11, they're gonna get it done as soon as they can. What they are going to do is, if you have paid for your membership up until the end of June, they're just not gonna charge you that extra July and August till they get it turned on. So, they're basically giving you 2 months of MLS free, because they're behind, not anything we can do. So it's progressing well. There is a decision point that we will decide what system we're going to use. And we all have thoughts about what system's best and how we use it and whatnot. It's well underway and it's happening soon. You will be able to pay, that's one of the big wins. You're gonna be able to sign up, join firms, license, pay your bills, all that, credit card, anything you want electronically. You don't have to interface with the office or, me filling out your paperwork all the time. That'll be actually
Yay.
electronic. And there's not gonna be any additional fees to that. Like now to pay your bill, it's additional $10. Which I think is ridiculous, but it's going away. So does that help?
Yeah, so if we wanted to join Triangle right now, we'd still have to pay all those fees to join that MLS, right? Like the that one-time fee.
Yes. In my answer, I would not do that unless you're just hankering to do that, because you'll have access to that in RPR. If you're looking
Okay.
for switches, if you're looking for listing, now that's a different conversation.
No, we just have lots of people looking at the Triangle, but I don't have access to the listings.
Yeah, I'd use
Yeah.
RPR for that.
Yeah, use RPR. You can search.
Okay.
RPR is the NAR, National Association of Realtors database, the data page. So listings are there, community stats are there, you can send reports there, you can, all kinds of things.
And it's got a boatload of information in it.
But can you schedule showings through it?
No,
Showing time will be, that's the next thing they're gonna add to it. So, and actually, we all have an advantage. If you are a member of Triangle, technically, you are not allowed to let someone outside of Triangle see a listing.
No.
Period. You're not supposed to, according to their rules. However, that is not a rule in Alamance. So all of us Alamance people that are coming over will be able to see those, period, and have access. Whereas the Triangle folks will not have that capability. It's still a rule for those folks. It is not for us. So we're being grandfathered in with that rule.
Wait, could you go through that again? What's it mean?
Yeah. So Triangle members currently, their rule is that you do not allow someone outside of the Triangle membership
To like view a house?
to view a house, that have access to a house. That
So
is-
like we're only members of Triad only. We couldn't technically go and show a client in Triangle.
That is their rule.
Isn't that, what were you just talking about? Like, code of ethics, what's in the best interest of?
Freaking
How do they do that?
They're less, yes. So Alamance does not have that rule. Because we let anyone see our properties because the code of ethics. You're supposed to market the property to the best of your ability. So we let anyone, we don't require you to be a member of Alamance to see an Alamance listing. We give you the code and show me your license. I'll send you the paperwork and they're trying to force membership is what it was. And, sometimes rules are made at the wrong time. They're not relevant anymore. But, though we're not gonna have that issue because they're following our rule because they adopted it.
I have a question about the app. So,
Which,
the Claire Williams app,
and
so.
don't even look at me.
Is
Look at him.
Daniel, Does that bring all the information from all of the MLSs, like everything we can see on the MLS is there?
Yeah, it's supposed to, it's the KWMS.
Like my website or my app?
Exactly.
Okay.
I'd love for some people with MLS access to kind of test it, so whenever they see like a new listing show up in one of the MLSs. See how quickly it shows up in
It shows up pretty
KWMS.
quick. It might take a day. It's got access to all of the MLSs, which is a great advantage, but the disadvantage is that if someone lists one in Triad, Elements,
Oh,
and
yeah, you
Triangle,
see it.
you'll see it 3 times. Which is a little bit messy for the search results, but really when you're doing like a market snap, of the averages, average those in, because it's taking all 3 and it's building them into the averages.
And I've noticed sometimes they pop up in different locations too. If they have like 3 of the same, like triangle, triad and element,
Mhm.
they'll put it down, but one will show here and then one will show up the street.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've seen that. But yeah, if you're using the stats, you might want to run your own numbers and update it.
Someone's trying to come in, you just let them in. I don't know what it is.
But I mean, to the point of the question, yeah, you'll see everything that's listed in MLS. Just changing what it was.
Hey, I was like, someone's trying to come in.
Hey. Somebody extremely important.
The light screen, come on in.
Yeah, cause I've been like creating, you know how you can create collections? Well, you kind of put a heart and then create a name, a collection. So what I've been doing is I create collections for my clients because that pulls information from all of the MLSs, so I don't have to send them different files. So I have investors looking like, I just don't care, just give me something near the highway in Winston and Raleigh. So I've been sharing that, but I just want to make sure they're getting all of that information that I'm pulling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, I do a save search, which you had talked with Daniel Carter. You just draw the circle and then it'll automatically.
It'll do it
send it.
automatically.
And then I use the app, I send them the app and because if they just like, oh, I want this, this and this, I'm like, no. You go on there, you search for what you want, card it, and then it automatically comes to our notification. And then we could go from there, look it up in the MLS and do a show and talk. Because like, if you're working with a lot of clients, you don't have time to just be individually like.
I'm just a little extra, but yeah.
Yeah, cause I do a save search in the command and it'll automatically send them all the updates in the app automatically, so you don't have to go heart everything
Mhm.
automatically and do it.
So again, a win for command,
Mhm.
that, I mean, you know, I've got someone searching and she didn't care where she lives, she's that, it matters about price.
Mhm.
And I'm a member of all 3, so she's getting 3 emails every day. And sometimes
you
it's the
should go
same
with the
house
app.
on all 3.
Although if something's listed in that Virginia MLS. Then you're in issues because you're not gonna see it where the
Absolutely.
KWMS
Yeah.
will see it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But we'll do some searches and like I showed you realist and some of
Oh,
those
yeah.
things like, some of the tools to help you. That's the purpose of this class, like the purpose of me investing time with you weekly to understand where you are, what you need, and how you can grow, like. I have a vested interest because I care about you for your success, so.
Anything
I think
else?
For me, like, because I took Ignite, I feel like I have a lot of tools already that I've been applying. But now I just need kind of the more specific questions like, what all do I have to make sure that I get from the HOA?
Yeah.
You know, or where am I looking at all this? Where am I looking at the deed? I'm just trying to read things and I'm like, okay, are they trying to fool my clients? I don't know, like,
Yeah.
that's more of what I need. more
And that's what this is
specific.
about, yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. So we'll do, and it's a laptop class, so go ahead and bring it,
Mhm.
and we'll work through stuff like that.
Do we, like, how do we set up the MLS to send the client emails?
I'll show you.
I think that video's on that.
Is it?
Yeah.
There is a video.
Each one's a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I asked Darcy yesterday.
If you go to the
It was,
homepage of the MLS, look for the training resources,
Yeah.
and then I know that Triad I think Triad and Triangle both have videos on that. I think.
Okay, cause I'm with LMS.
But and if you can't find it, email their contact because they want you to know.
Yeah.
So.
So one, you have to enter your client, just like your MLS, you can add clients to it. Their name, their address, their email, phone number, what they're looking for, all that. And then once you save them, it's almost like a second database. Some people, offices that don't have a command, they don't have CRM, don't have all the stuff we have. So they're going into the MLS and utilizing the MLS as their database. It's not giving them drills and marketing and all the bells and whistles we do. It gives them properties.
Yeah.
Because that's all the MLS is for, is properties. So what happens is they enter their information in and then they do it. They search for their criteria once they're a client. They search for their criteria and then it comes up with a list of houses, right? You save that search and you save it to that client.
Okay.
And then you create something called a recurring email. And that's all little click steps. And then they ask you, do you want it every day? Do you want it once a week? Do you want it every other day? Do you want it Mr. Friday? Like you can tell it all those things.
Okay.
Some people don't like it.
Also, I had a request yesterday in ALC meeting to do a specific training with you down here for smart plans, campaigns, and marketing. Which is, and if you're, this is not going to be the class for how do I put a contact in command? So there's essentially there's kind of stages with command. It gets more in depth and more in depth. But a lot of people who are past that initial usage of command thing, now we need to get into the here's how you do a smart plan, here's how you do a campaign, here's how you do a flyer, here's how you do social media drip campaigns, that in-depth 33 touch system. So I had that request yesterday in ALC meeting. So put that together.
Figured out that flyer thing real quick.
Yeah.
Super
How can
handy.
we request for criteria to be added on the app? They need to add a basement option. When you're searching, you can only put like rooms, bathrooms, the square footage, and then,
In the
Like,
command piece.
yeah,
Yeah,
like they should add some more features.
I can tell you the MLS,
I
what
don't
you
know,
can
how can
do,
we
it
request
gives you a
that?
basis, but then you can go in and say list additional options, and there's probably 200 options.
That's a
On that
bunch.
side?
And
Yeah.
you can add to that.
Are you talking about, are you talking about searching through through command?
App,
Okay.
at the properties, like Zillow, you know, we have the app. So my clients are looking for criterias and they're like, oh, but I can't search if I'm looking for a basement. I know you said they're putting a lot of money to it, so I'm like, why not add criterias? Like, I don't know how far that is.
Have you talked about color cloud ideas yet with anybody?
I've not actually got.
It's this like, it's like a Hail Mary pass on what they're gonna work on Command Next. You go to colorcloudIdeas.com and it's like a crowdsourced voting, we wish Command did X, Y, and Z. And what you do is you go there and you can search for, can we do basements? And someone might have already put that as an idea. And you
Yeah.
Just vote it and upvote
Yeah.
it. And if it's a new idea, you can put your new one on and get other people to vote it up.
So as it bubbles up, it gets more.
Whatever gets to the top, supposedly someone in the tall tower of KW is looking at this and, prioritizing this. But
Yeah.
I went there once, I think the highest voting one was like 1,000 people. So it's not like an impossible bar to get that pushed up list if you really felt strongly about something, you get the support for it.
Can we vote for basement?
Well, what
Just gotta go on campus.
yeah, go in there and put it in there, because you know how command has gotten so sophisticated. So what they did is they took every CRM platform out there. They took Boomtown and they took KV Core and they took all these 20 platforms that are available in the real estate world, and they put them up beside each other and put them up beside command. And then they put this laundry list of everything that these things can do. And then they said, did check marks for each one. This one can do this one and this one. They basically took everything that all the other ones could do and made command do it.
Yeah.
So command can eventually be the end all be all superior software, which, yeah. And
I will come in, that's great.
which is how it's being built, which is cool. It's being built off what of all the other ones can do. We don't want ours to not be able to do something that another one can do.
There's one on there for ad hoc neighborhoods that I voted on. I recommend it. Because I think it's one of the most powerful things that Command can do right now is because you can take a whole database that you can plop in 1,000 people and you don't know anything about them. You want to about the neighborhood nurture, you have to do it one at a time. And you have to click into the map and click each neighborhood for each contact. But if you could bulk add, like I imported all this from a Facebook post from Beach and Evan. And I just said, these are the neighborhoods of Evan for these 500 people.
And if it could pull it based on the city and just bam.
Boom, and then from all the neighborhood nurture, you're done.
Yeah.
That's my restrictive.
All right, my time's done here. Y'all,
So,
nothing else before I go?
One
Anything?
of the things is if we have 250 folks that go in and vote for something that actually not vote without that.
Yeah, can we get a link for that? I'll vote.
Killer Clown ideas, I think you can just find it.
The basement one had 4 votes and now has 5.
Yeah.
I would love to make that.
Look,
It's ideas.kw.com.
I'm voting every single day.
There you go.
For
I
me.
appreciate y'all. Y'all keep killing it.
Thanks, Andy.
Yeah, whenever I first signed into it, it had me sign in, went to a weird page, but then whenever I went to it the second time, it actually.
ideas
Ideas, KW.
dot KW.
Ideas.
And search what you're looking for first, because you don't want getting it done because there's already people voting for the same thing more than different.
Because then you just water it down, you might as well pile on.
Yeah, so literally I searched for basement right off the bat and there was a thing with 4 votes. It's add basement as a search filter and consumer add and whatever. So, and went from 4 to 5.
You know, look for it.
Let's give it double the.
Hey, so one of the things that I'll tell you that's a challenge, is in agent world or agent knowledge, we're never at the same spot, right? So some of you may be here, some of you may be here, some of you may be here, and some of you may be here. So based upon how long you are in your tenure as a PB or what classes you've had, like some may have had Ignite, some may have not, some may have done 301, but not 302, 303. So what I don't want for you is redundancy, but I also want to tap into those resources that you do have, like go to KW Cloud, whatever it is. Because if that conversation doesn't happen and we're all here, if someone from here doesn't share that, we all can't get over there. So that's one of my things is definitely share what you know, so that we can all get better. We can all get improved. We can all make each other better. I want to go back to something you said earlier. And you all know from Ignite, and I'm a firm believer in that whatever your vehicle is that you're good at or you're comfortable in is where you can excel. So if I say, go to the mall today and walk around and pass out your card, and you're not comfortable doing that, are you going to do that? No, right? That's not your thing. But if your thing is, I don't mind calling all my people on my team at, volleyball and ask them if they know anybody that wants to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. And they'll immediately say what? No, right? And then you say, well, what about someone at your kids' soccer games? When you bounce the second question to them, it makes them stop and think. When you ask them initially, they didn't think, they just answered no. It's like that question when you go into a store and say, hey, thanks for coming in today. What are you looking for? What's the answer? Nothing, I'm just looking, right? You don't even stop to think. Well, you didn't drive up to a store and walk in aimlessly. You went to that store for something, for a reason. But if that person who's the salesperson doesn't probe and ask open-ended questions or make you stop and think, then I'm just looking. The next phase is, well, what are you looking for? Nothing, just looking. My standard answer when I spent 23 years there was, well, you're going to be busy. You know how much stuff we got to look at? Let's narrow that down. What is it? A birthday? Is it a holiday? Is it a trip? Is it a gift? What is it? You came in for something other than see me. Like, I'm not here. I mean, there's a reason. So But finding that list of where you fit and what's comfortable. Some people, it's calling expireds off the MLS this from the ones that expired yesterday. They're agents that are homeless. Those are houses and clients that are homeless today. So you can go into the MLS today and see all the contracts that expired last night. How many phone calls are those people getting today? A ton. That's how we got sued during the last crash, the chaos in the last 2 years. We just paid $40 million lawsuit because one office called one person on the do not call list over 200 times. That's harassment. But that was the business model. There's no houses, call all the expireds. So you call it, that's how Robbie built his business, Robbie Cavender. I started like a month before Robbie. He didn't know the first thing about real estate, no more than I did. He was calling expireds relentlessly. And he would get on that phone and we'd be in the workroom together and we're like, damn, Robbie, could you not be so loud? Like, dude, you talk so loud. Some of that was people jealous because he was calling, they weren't calling. The other thing, and I will tell you, I have failed so many times and I've done the wrong thing. I had to find what my vehicle was. I had to find out what I was good at. I wasn't going to go, I was not going to be the Robbie and call expireds. That was not what I was going to do. I felt Robbie was doing that. We didn't need two of us doing that. The other thing he did was build a business off of FSBOs for sale by owners. So he would, you can go into Zillow and My Dog Test and some of those other internet sites for sale by owner homes. Facebook Marketplace now. Why do you think those vehicles are successful? You've overcome one of the biggest things ever in this whole thing.
Just calling somebody.
They've already said they want to sell their house. They've already said, sell my house. Hey, I'm for sale. I don't want it anymore. I want it to go. So I want it to be someone else's. That's one of the biggest challenges is saying, hey, would you like to buy, sell, or invest in real estate today? That phrase needs to be in your head, like as common as my name is Jason Scott is, hey, my name is Jason Scott with Keller Williams Central. Do you yourself or someone you know interested in buying, selling, or investing in real estate? What's their answer? No. You follow it up with a question. Someone from your work? Can you think of anybody at work? That's when they stop and think for a moment. The second time. And the other thing that how that conversation goes after that is, well, I'll let them know I know an agent. What your answer is, you know what I'd really like to do? Do you mind sharing their contact information with me? Because I want to reach out to them because I don't want any other agent that don't know what they're doing to get to them before me. But I definitely also want to share with them that their good friend thought enough of them to think they might need a professional work on their side. Anything like that. You want to be able to be the vehicle to contact that person, not them share your information. If it doesn't work, yes, share my information. Then put them on a follow-up call list to say, hey, Laura, did you share my information with your friend Susie? And if she said, oh gosh, I hadn't ran into Susie yet. I'm like, well, do you mind, me sending her a text? I'm not trying to harass her, but if she needs a professional to work for, someone on her side, I want to be that person. So those are the kind of conversations that you can have. But that phrase, do you or use someone interested in buying, selling, or investing in real estate needs to be spitting out of your mouth just as much as, my name is Jason Scott or whatever. Those easy conversations, and I can't even tell you the number of times. And when I tell you I failed, I failed. I was a secret agent. I wanted to get as much classwork done and certifications. Y'all seen my credentials. I've got like 10 because I was new to the industry. I'm 50, y'all are not. I wanted to not, everyone knew me for 25 years as Jason from Belk. They didn't know me, Jason, from real estate. So I did not want someone to think I was inexperienced or didn't know what I was talking about, or like I was going to not be, what they needed in an agent. So I went education route first. Like I wanted to get my 301s, my 2s and 3s. I wanted to get my at home with diversity. I wanted to get my buyer's accreditation, because if you wanted a buyer, I wanted to be accredited from the National Institute that I could work with you as a buyer. So what that does is I spent a lot of education time, not production time. So that was my vehicle. Some people do that. It's okay if you do that. It's not wrong. It's just know that's not a setup for being in production quickly. I went on a team. I was a buyer's agent. I was one for 5 years. We had a wonderful relationship. That worked well for me. That's where I found my success in production, was being on a team. I will say every team has their own setup for how they pay, how they share, how they refer, how they whatever. Make sure you have that conversation up front and get it in writing, so that a year from now, you don't have situations like, I'll share one with you. The rule is, if you get a buyer client, I'm your buyer's agent, we agree that I got all those clients. All of a sudden, a buyer client wants to buy a $700,000 house, and the listing agent wanted to help them. That was not our agreement. Our agreement was, if you get a buyer client, they come to me. So why all of a sudden is the listing agent on the team taking a buyer out? That's not our agreement, right? You need to have that conversation before you think about joining a team. If they wanted them because it was $700,000, they didn't want to share it with you. That's how that went. I mean, just call a spade a spade. If I bring something in, one of my personal friends, family, or whatever, am I splitting back with you my normal split? If we share 50-50, teams are usually set up that way. So whatever the listing agent gets a listing, they sell the house, they turn over those folks to buy, I give them half of that money, that off the commission. That's typical setup. If the buyer's agent brings someone in and buys, do they still get 50? It depends on that conversation you had up front, right? If the buyer's agent, if Noah and I are great buddies and Noah contacts me and says, hey, Jason, I want to list my house. I know you're a buyer's agent. And I give Noah to my listing agent on my team. Does that get split 50-50? Do I get a referral back? You need to have those conversations up front if you're thinking about joining a team, is the only thing I say. Some things are happening that are extremely concerning to me that I'm seeing a lot of. And there's a rule that your BIC is to approve every single piece of marketing. I went to a class recently in Durham for BICs, and it was with the real estate commission. Literally, they were there, standing there. And they said that rule was written at a time when there was a Sunday paper and there was a home section. So the BIC would then approve all the Sunday ads for the paper. They couldn't run the ad without the BIC's approval, right? Is that the same as what we do today? No. I'm not looking at every reel you make and every post you make and every TikTok and every Snapchat and every whatever you make. It's not possible for me to do that. It's not possible for my 16 agents when I had before, not much less the 250 we have now. So they're actually looking at that rule to say that that was a rule that was made at a time marketing was different. Just know that if they change that rule, it will very much be on the agent to follow those rules. Right now, it's on the BIC. So if they do change that rule, it'll very much be on the agent. And sometimes if you post something, I will do hashtag KW Central. So if I've missed it somewhere, I'm doing that to help you, not criticize you or hurt you or anything else. Can I pick on you for a second? I think it's exciting. You guys created your team, you're working with your wife. We probably had 10 people contact me and say, oh my God, are they leaving? And I said, no, I don't think they're leaving. I like the same post you like. What are you talking about? And I said, no, it said KW Central. I saw it. But people thought you guys were leaving based upon the way they interpreted the ad. Even though I saw it, hashtag KW Central, in what Sarah posted, or you posted, whichever one you did it, all the little hashtags, I read KW Central. But the people that just read the ad or looked at the picture and not the details thought y'all were leaving to open your own firm. I'm not picking on you. Please don't take it that way.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I got like 10 that day, no lie. Like, oh my God, is Jonathan and Sarah leaving? I'm like, no, I didn't sign off on that. What do you mean?
I thought it was.
Yeah. So Sonia thought it.
Yeah, and then I've read
Yeah.
the entire thing and saw the KW at the bottom. I was like, oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah. See, we're skimmers. And look, realtors don't read. Just let me tell you that right now. You will run across the 77,000 realtors in North Carolina do not read. We skim and we look at pictures. The only time we read is we read for signature lines and we read for the commission check. I'm here to tell you.
Thought it was just me.
But where can it mess up? In those details, right? Where we skimmed. Can I pick on you? I mean, you know, it's from a good place. You grabbed me in my office and you had a client, your first one, right? You want to make an offer. And you thought you were ready to make it, right? Were you ready to make it? No. And I sat with you and we wrote up a contract and you saw me ask questions and interact with her client. Were you having ahas?
Yeah,
Like,
the whole time, the whole thing.
yeah, you were like, oh, I could hear you and I could feel you, but I was, I didn't want her to think anything about it.
Yeah.
But I've done it so many times, it just comes out that way. After 9 years, and I don't think you should know. You should not have the conversation that I have at
And
my
I'm so
level.
glad you did, because now I literally go the same way that you went if I saw you firsthand.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that it went, it happened with that specific client and everything.
Yeah, I'm glad it did too.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was a learning moment. I very much appreciated it. And it also showed me how I can help. So I think that the good thing is we will have, I do want to bring someone up and you're going to be a guinea pig and we're actually going to have a consultation. So you see what that looks like. I'm going to set someone up on a search so you see what that looks like. I don't have all the answers. I promise you if I don't have the answer. Sonia, what do I do if I don't have an answer? Are you there?
Sorry. Yep.
What do I do
You
if I don't
find
have
the
an
answer. You find it.
I find
You
it,
call the
right?
legal team.
How far will I go to get the right answer?
You go pretty far.
Yeah. I mean, one, I don't want to be in a lawsuit with you. But two, I'm going to go out there. I mean, I've contacted the legal hotline more than I have since November than I have in 9 years. Because you all come up with some of the zaniest things I've run across. Like one is that ice maker in the back of the room. If those of you online, you've seen the ice makers in the room, and it's part of the cabinetry. Is that part of the house or not? There's a slot in the
Is it built
cabinet
in?
for it.
Yeah.
But it's removable easily.
It's on wheels that plugs in.
Oh no, that's a personal item.
It depends.
But if I pull it out, there's a big gaping hole in the cabinet.
Obviously, the kitchen is
The kitchen was designed to have it, okay.
write it down anyway.
Is it a fixture?
Always write it down.
Yeah.
We had a contract. They didn't write it down. They contacted me and said, Jason, what do I do? This thing is $900. Like, did you ask for it? No. It's part of the cabinet. I'm like, well, it looks like it's part of the cabinet. But I pulled it out on the floor and it's on wheels and it's gone, right? So we actually contacted legal. That one's actually probably going to be added to the July contract because one of our agents.
Can I add something to the list of topics?
Yeah, yeah.
I think that, the property description, like the legal description on the offer of purchase.
Yes.
Finding the deed, finding the, the lot and block, and
Yeah,
I feel like I'm kind of struggling my way through that. I'm getting it there.
we'll do that one quick.
Hey, Jonathan, do you have Triad or Alamance?
I have tried and tried.
Triad's
Realist is your
very
friend.
easy. Yeah, Triad's very easy to find those items on there.
Yeah, but I've also found that like the MLS sheets are almost to be trusted. Things, like I like finding the deed and the register of deeds and stuff. And
What if the MLS sheet's wrong?
exactly, that's why I like, but I want to know like, what's the best way to find, because last night I was looking one up where I went. to
Aubrey,
the
we did that,
MLS.
right?
So if you go to the resources in the Triad, that's like a really good friend of yours.
Hey, so we're gonna log into the MLS. I'll give you this tidbit right now before we break.
County is not online with their deeds, right?
What was the question?
Castle County is not online with their deeds.
No, Caswell County, when you sell something in Caswell County, you actually have, the attorney has to drive the deed paperwork to the courthouse.
Okay.
So some attorneys will not even do a Caswell settlement
Oh, okay. Well,
because, yes, they will. Some attorneys don't want to physically drive to the courthouse because they don't have staff to do that.
I got a Caswell closing this Friday, and Jill Britt with Pittman and Stills doing it.
I feel like Castle needs its own MLS. I don't.
no,
No, absolutely not.
we need fewer, not more.
Yeah.
We'll do just one with Jason.
Yeah. Terrified, you can't get cell service. I was like, yeah, cause you like, yeah, I was all the way up in Milton. I was like.
I need to drag it over here for them to know
Yeah.
these people in here.
Good call.
Yes.
I can see it.
Stop sharing for a second, because I actually had to turn off screen now.
Hey, can y'all see the MLS, Sonia, Marla?
Well, now it's on email.
Stop sharing. I did it by screen, sorry. Share screen. And screen two. Or whichever way.
Now can you see the MLS?
Yes.
Okay. So, okay, today, this little box right here, there's 26 new listings. You see that? So if you're looking every single morning, the first thing you do is come here and look at your front hot box. 3 went back on the market that were under contract and came back. 22 dropped their price. 1 went up in price. 14 went pending, but they're accepting backup offers. 28 went pending, sold or 38, right? That's in a 7-day window. If you click here, you can say 24 hours. So we had 8 new listings yesterday. All right. So I'm looking at the 8 new ones. So I'm going to pull up this one on Wilson Street, right? If I hit the TX, you see this black box right here, TX? It says realist property link. It opens. Sonia, are y'all seeing that at home?
Yeah.
Okay, so this, I do one of these for every single listing buying anything I do. So this is a realist property report on this house. So it tells me the owner address, square footage, the size of the lot, the year. Subdivision, that's a question on the OTP, right?
Yeah.
Tax ID, is that a question on the OTP?
No.
Yes.
Is that PIN?
PIN number, that's,
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
How do we know that?
I'm telling you now, that's why you wouldn't know that. That's why. So tax ID is the PIN number.
Is that the G pin below it? Or like-
Yes, that's one and the same. So alternate tax ID, this is what the tax ID was before they went to an online system. So it would have been under, this property can be referenced in the old system under this alternate tax ID. Under the new system that's electronic, it's here. This is its number.
Is this the final word on this information? Like, is this pulling from what other agents have filled out in the most recent listing?
This is pulling from the tax
So
department.
it's gold.
Yeah, I don't care what the agent put on the MLS. This is what the tax department has on this house. Block, hardest thing to find. Block what? Is that on the OTP? Lot. Is that on the OTP? Legal description. Wilson Street, lot 1,
Yes, we go here and we do this and we're compliant.
Golden. Yes,
That's lovely information. I love it.
yes, they do. Yes.
No, I love the last word of stuff. There's
So-
some things that are like, but sometimes they're not accurate. I don't care.
If you're on, if you're doing a listing appointment and you're doing an entry, does it ask you for the tax information? Yes. What were the taxes in 22? What's the description of the land? Single family residence. This is a question when you do an entry on a listing. It's a ranch. Does it ask you the type of house on a listing? This is your friend. Crawl space. As I keep going down, what is this one? The likelihood this home will sell on a scale of 0 to 1,000. Moderate. So this particular house, 50-50 on selling it. So what would you do? Be more aggressive in pricing. It's what you tell Mr. Seller or Miss Seller or whomever. You see that it's currently on the MLS. You see it was on there before in 2007. At what price? It was withdrawn in December and it had been on the market in May, so long it expired. So what's going on with this house? Moderately to sell, listed twice in 07, never sold. What's the deal? Two things. Price or condition. One or the other.
Hey, Jason.
Hey,
Hey, so you got to realist through the MLS listing. What if you're looking up a property for a seller and it's not in that MLS? Like maybe it's in a different MLS that you're not currently a member of. But can you get to realist just on your own without going through the MLS to find this information?
that will cost you.
Aha.
They used to just go through the GIS and click around, but that's not always up to.
Did you see it?
I was gonna ask, how you get to it on Triad?
Yeah, it's the same way.
It's the same as this.
It's under. Oh, I never go that way, so let me find it. It's under resources.
On the
External
Triad it
links, there
is.
we go, bingo. I didn't scroll low enough.
I gotta check to see.
I told you realtors don't read, right? I never scroll to the bottom. So external links.
External links, got it.
Uh-oh.
Thank you.
Sure. Look, showing time, realtor, RPR. Imagine that. Going back to this report, because I do want to show you something on this report too. So listing and marketing sales history. This is every time a deed was recorded on this property. So it was sold in 84, 06, 08, and 09. And it sold for 73, 103, and 106. And what do we have it list? What do we have it listed at today? 199. Do you think that's, and it's 50-50 on selling it? What do you think? These are the people that bought and sold it. Deed information. And lo and behold, it's even got the deed book and page. Do you need that for the OTP?
Of course, it doesn't say like deed, but it's just a document number.
Bingo.
You know, these are.
What is the document type, Jonathan?
I'm just, sometimes I feel like.
Underneath.
Knock my head against the desk and like, I can't put A to B on this, like, you just gotta learn.
Yeah,
hardware.
it says deed. When the document number is this, then the type's a deed.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mortgages, how much do they owe? Did you know you can get that? The bottom of the, you keep scrolling down the page. They owe 30K.
Great for like offering and bargaining toil.
Yes,
Yes.
That update like every payment they make?
it updates when they got the loan. So in 01 May, they took out a mortgage for 30K from state employees. And what is this? A plat map with a pin. I'm really going to freak you out. What if I hit comparables? It just showed me 2 more houses. Trends. This is all based on Graham. Is this information you can share on a listing appointment? Neighborhoods, they ever ask you about neighborhood profiles? The age of people, the population, the gender.
But I thought we couldn't talk about that.
You can't. You tell them there are resources out there, but you know.
Or you can't like print this page and be like, well, don't ask me, but look at this.
Flood map. Ever need a flood map? Yes, you do. Okay, I'm gonna go home on this. So, Marla, what your question is, this is the home page of realist.com. If I were to type in, you actually set up let me see. Change county. You go in and set up the counties you want to search, but there's a limit. Over here, I can only have 12. So I want to shop counties, or I can also shop cities over here. So if I want Chatham, I've got Alamance checked. Chatham. What's another county beside of us? Guilford. Guilford. So I've got 3 of my 12 selected, and then I'm going to go apply. Because if I come over here, so I'm going to type in my house. I can do address, or I can do the owner, right? So if I search it, these are the 2 owners, 4-bedroom, 3-bath. We bought it for $270 in 04. We never sold it. I wanted to show you this. In Guilford County, often if this is blue, when you get to that PIN number, where does it take you? Oh, tax card. And what do you see on the first thing in the tax card highlighted in yellow right there? Plat book and page. Did I just blow your mind?
Yeah, I never filled that out, so I didn't know where to find it. Is that bad, like a bad when you're setting an offer and you don't have all that information.
I think it is. What if they sell it for plat 28, not 27? So. If that, again, if that is blue as a link, it's live and will take you to the tax card. So, was this worth the price of admission today?
Yeah, you should record that and post it somewhere.
Exactly.
Now, this is.
So on this tax card, I got lot, I got plat, I got book, I got subdivision, all that right here in the legal description. Did I just help you?
A lot, a whole lot.
All right.
Do you mind showing us how you got to the realist one more time through the M1?
Yes, how I do it myself, my friend, is if I can't find the leak and I'm frustrated, I just go into any MLS listing and I hit this TX right here, realist property link. But if you hit tax right here, these are headings across. I told you we don't read. Here. This is also a lot of the same information. Did y'all know that was there as a tab?
Yeah.
So you can hit tax. Or you can hit this TX right here and that takes you to realist. And then realist is where I got all that information. And then in realist, if that's not your property you want, if you want, Wilson's not what I'm looking for, I can hit back and go to the home page of realist. And I can type any house I want, any address I want to, as long as my counties are selected. Like if I didn't check Guilford County for my own house right then, it would have said, no, this don't exist because I'm not searching in Guilford. But there's something similar. It'll give you a PIN number. And if you click on the PIN and you say report, it brings up the report. That's also another way. So here, or you can click here. And it'll bring it up. There's the listing on it. So stop and share unless y'all need it at home. You good? Does that help?
Oh,
All right, that's your freebie for today. Next week we'll hit something else.
Yeah.
So if there's something that you come across you want or need to have a question on, text, shoot, email, whatever. Because if you have a question on it, probably somebody in here does too. Triangle is totally different, but they have something similar. It's through property data something, but it's very similar. So,
I'm gonna look right there. If I find it.
yeah, I don't use Triangle as much, even though we're merging with them, and I'm like, ooh, I better get to know them real well. I will say the thing about Triangle is Triangle has merged with us now, and they have access to Matrix. Triangle also merged with another region as data sharing, and they have access to Flex. Flex MLS is like the Cadillac of MLSs, okay? It is even better than Matrix.
So when
And
we merge, oh, go ahead.
when we merge, we have to make a decision as a firm where we're going to go, what we're going to use. The Cadillac is Flex, and I can get all 200 of you on Flex. What is the issue with that?
You don't get the
All
triangle.
200 of you have to learn something new. So. But I'd rather you be driving Cadillacs than clunking around in Pintos. So.
choose wisely.
Yep.
sir.
So, and we're working on that. We have asked if it can be down to the agent level, can the agent choose? They don't know if they can do that or not. Right now, they know the brokerage can choose. So. All right, see you next week. I am not tied to this date and time, and I'll tell you why we did Thursdays. Wednesdays are better for Daniel and I both. However, Bold is starting, and it's every Wednesday for 7 weeks. So I don't want to take up Bold time and you not to have this time. So we're doing Thursdays for now. We'll see how it works out. You've asked for guest speakers, you'll have them. You'll have inspectors, you'll have a home, an appraiser come in. I will give you all of those tools. And you do not have to be a PB to be here. If there's a buddy in the office you've got or have, or someone you know that'll benefit, bring them in. So, like I say, some week I'll say, let's go to 123 Main Street and we're gonna walk a house. We're gonna measure a house. We're gonna pick it apart. We just have to have a vacant listing that the agent agrees and the owner agrees that we can go out there and use it as a training class. So,
Jason, question for you. Should they bring probable recruits from other agencies? to these?
perfect class for recruiting. If you got somebody,
Maybe you went to school with somebody,
Yeah.
they're at a different firm and.
yeah, anything at Keller Williams is not private information. So any class, Bold, even Bold, people can come to Bold that aren't KW people. We just offer it to y'all first. And so any class at Keller Williams is open. We're doing a lunch and learn with foreclosures, HUD homes. We're doing a lunch and learn with 1031 exchanges. So anyone can come to those. It doesn't have to be just KW people.
Do you know when that foreclosure lunch will be?
When
Okay.
I get it on the calendar
Okay.
and the right now, HUD is having a problem changing the previous broker to me. So I don't want to do that class until they get it fixed. And we've been working on it for 2 months.
Is there any other certifications that we need? Like if we want to do lower income and with the foreclosures and the HUD, do we have to have?
Some require that, yes, it depends.
All right.
Like Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac has a class to be a Freddie certified agent in the region.
Okay.
And I'll tell you that my organization that I'm president of, we're bringing Freddie Mac from Washington State to do a class. So, and it's an open class too. We'll have it. It'll be open to whomever. So, my group is having a Freddie class. And you guys are always welcome to any stuff we do. So.
Yeah, I just like, I want to work with lower income, but like, you know, like it's gonna be, it's definitely creative.
Yeah.
And some of it.
So here's the thing right now, and you all know that I've been working with somebody almost 2 years. Anything under 200,000, and the market has created this. Anything under 200,000 is kind of an oxymoron. A first home buyer under 200K is an oxymoron. If it's under 200K, what's the condition? It's poor. What do first home buyers usually use? FHAs. Will an FHA work on a poor condition home? No. So therein lies the conundrum of housing crisis. The other thing is happening. There's 3 things causing shortages. Interest rates. People don't want to get a loan at that rate. But a lot of people aren't talking about the people that are in their houses right now have loans at lower rates. And they're not going to put their house on the market to get a loan at their new house at a higher rate. So they're just staying put. Staying put means no inventory for us. Right? And you all heard me say that insurance industry has caused a housing crisis with elderly. What happens now with an elderly? They do traveling nurses and in-home health care. Have you seen that business explode in the last 5 to 10 years? It's cheaper for an individual to visit 20 houses this week and give them health care than to put 20 people in a facility and treat them 24/7. Is that house on the market? No. That has caused an inventory crisis. So those 3 things, and then the third is the cost of building. The actual cost to build a house, you cannot build a house for under 200,000 right now. It's just not possible. Unless it's a 2-1. What's the number 1 floor plan? A 3-2. A 2-1 at 200,000 usually is not right for a first home buyer right now. They just get an apartment at $1,200 a month, right? So therein lies all the issues of inventory. So here to help you every week. And y'all know you can reach me anytime. Hey, Marla, Sonia, I appreciate you guys too. Thank y'all for joining. Anything else? All right,
Thank you.
thank y'all.
No, thank
Stay
you.
and have pizza and beer and